Gruesome Magazine.
Hello, once again, I'm your host, Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Dave Dreyer, Christopher G. Mohr, and myself. We'll take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings, and sometimes we look at TV. And that's what we're doing tonight. We're looking at Chucky Season 2, Episode 1. Oh, my. I'm thrilled to be doing this. All right, joining me tonight are my co-hosts, starting off with Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing?
Holy Chucky, Season 2, Episode 1, Batman.
Oh, no. Oh, no. No.
Well, we won't hear it again, I guess. I don't know.
No. They put an end to that. All right, also joining us is award-winning filmmaker Christopher G. Mohr. How you doing, sir?
To not be obviously spoilery, we're back in the habit again of watching the newest season of Chucky.
Newest season of Chucky. Oh my goodness. Yes, you'll have to have watched the episode to know what that means. Or just listen to the spoilers here in a little bit. All right. What we're going to do is start off giving our first impressions of the first episode. That will be spoiler free. And then we'll dive into a discussion. We will get into the spoilers and what happens and the characters that we see. And then we'll wrap things up with our score, a 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. And of course, we hope you enjoy not only this review, but many others that we have on the site. And if either you dig and see that we did the first season, or I actually follow through and put the links in the show notes down below, we covered last season, and that was a huge surprise. So this we're eager to do this season for certain, and we'll just find out if it lives up. Was it a one-hit wonder, or can they repeat? We'll find out tonight. All right, if you like what you're hearing, hit the subscribe, to like, share with a friend button. Every little click helps. We're trying to reach 5,000 subscribers, and only you can help us do that. So please
do.
Please. Yes. Let's take a look at the card and get things rolling. All right, Chucky, streaming on SYFY, Season 2, Episode 1, titled Halloween 2, which is, I think, the first season was called Halloween, right? The first episode. Available on SYFY beginning October 5th, 2022. The director was Jeff Renfroe. The writer was Don Mancini. The cast includes Bjorgvin Arnarson, Zackary Arthur, Alyvia Alyn, Brad Dourif, Fiona Dourif, Jennifer Tilly, and Alex Vincent. The synopsis: after his evil plan to invade America's children's hospitals was foiled, the demon doll now seeks revenge on those he holds responsible, including his ex-girlfriend, Tiffany. Bum, bum, bum. All right, let's find out what our first impressions were, starting off with Christopher G. Mohr.
Like these kids couldn't suffer through enough.
I know.
Yeah, a great start to a new season that kind of ends in a very interesting way, which I guess, if you've seen trailers, you kind of know a little bit where it's going. But yeah, it's still got some fun moments. It's got some nice little homages to other horror films in it as well. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really interested. And again, this show doesn't pull any punches. No, it really gets to the point where nobody's really safe a lot of times, even if it's little kids. So, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and we get some really fun action sequence in this, some really suspenseful sequences. And I'm really enjoying it. It's like the first thing is like, where are we going from here? And it is kind of interesting how they kind of like, how like Star Wars makes its world kind of small because it connects everything. This is doing the same thing, but I'm actually okay with that. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really kind of enjoying, I'm interested. This is a weird world where they just ship off their kids willy-nilly to places for free. But it's movie and TV logic, so you have to sort of like not turn your brain off and go with where it's going. So yeah. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's definitely, you could even say it's sci-fi TV logic. You could even narrow it down.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Jeff Mohr. It was interesting last season. You weren't a Chucky fan, and then the TV show actually brought you in, if I recall correctly. And I'm eager to find out what you think of Chucky season 2, episode 1.
The things you guys, well, you don't make me do it, but I'm embarrassed. So I binged all the Chucky movies last year between episode 1 and 2. So anyway, I enjoyed this quite a bit. I felt like, I mean, there's some good stuff that happens, but I really feel like the main purpose was to set the table for the season, and it did so very well. Now that set up multiple conflicts that can surface, and including the last scene, which isn't violent, but bodes ill will towards our 3 compadres. So yeah, they get together, and I enjoyed it. It's good to see him. I didn't realize that she was, Alyvia, that plays Lexi, is 15.
Really?
And we're so used to people playing down in their ages that they're really fairly close. The 2 boys are a little older, but if you believe IMDb. Anyway, I enjoyed it.
If you believe IMDb.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to where it goes.
Yeah, me too. I had high hopes, and it met them. This was a blast. I liked the structure of it. It kind of has a very clear 3-act structure, almost like it has, again, like Star Wars. It has like 3 little worlds that it explores. Yeah. And the middle one is the breadth of it, but it does kind of zip along from the end of the first season to 6 months later to Halloween, the next year, and then shenanigans happen. And it's great to see these characters again. Devin, Jake, and Lexi. Their chemistry just fell right back into place. And Jake and Devin's their little what would you call it, love affair, or whatever you want to call it, is quite charming and quite bold for TV even today, right? Not that it should be, but it's good that that they're doing this, and that they what I like about this is when it does have the kid cast, well, and it does primarily have a kid cast, they treat them like real characters, right? They don't talk down to the characters. They don't treat them as idiots. Maybe except for one. We'll talk about that. But I think that was on purpose. I like what Dan Mancini is it Dan or Don? Dan, right? I'm getting too Toscarelli confused. I like what he's doing here. I like the world he's building. I like the special effects were wonderful with the Chucky dolls. We get a variety of them at first, and then we get a really well done special effect. It looked like it was straight up puppet, right? It didn't look like it was CGI at all. Look, and it was so much fun. And then of course Brad Dourif as the voice is 100% in there. There's some special nods to other properties, and it was a lot of fun. Of course, that's what they did a lot last season, right? They would bring crazy little things in. So I had a blast with this, and this episode was setting up the remainder of the season, and all the pieces are in play. Now we just watch the match, right?
Yep. I guess you could say this. Yeah. I mean, this is definitely the start of the season. They have to set them up to be in this sort of new environment. So I guess it kind of it even skips time in one part, and it does go there pretty fast. But go ahead.
I was just gonna say they do a good job of reminding you of important things.
Yeah.
Just through dialogue that's realistic, not expositional, but
bringing up the old boyfriend that kind of fell under Chucky's wing, and that they there's all that stuff, and her sister was really strong this season too, this episode.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like this isn't lazy filmmaking at all. There's some really nice visual cinematography. There's two Hitchcock zooms in the same scene, because there's like the split screen call where they're doing opposite. They're doing Hitchcock zooms. That's never been done before. And that split screen, that felt a little bit of De Palma-ish, but using like a cell phone. And then there's some really beautiful stuff involving the truck, careening off with the big cross behind it. There's some really epic kind of shots that are done in this that look really cool. And there's even like a morbid joke with the Joker-esque bomb that goes off, where you see Chucky's face in the green smoke plume. So I mean, they're really, this isn't like, again, this is not lazy filmmaking. They're doing a really great job of sort of making this stand out from normal TV shows, to where not only is it just fun, sort of like darkly fun with the characters, but it's darkly fun with some of the camera work as well. And so I mean, you can see they're just having fun all around.
Yeah, I like it was interesting to me that I had to like, how do I say this? Some of the dialogue was hilarious, but it was played totally straight.
Yeah.
So, like Lexi beats the hell out of the Beth doll that the therapist, who's collected dolls all her life, recreationally.
Recreationally, that was a weird way to put it.
Gave her because she's afraid of dolls, and then gives her this line of stuff. Dr. Metker's full of shit. Then she says, I know. And then she tells her, and the doll's tied up in the little rocking chair. Dolls are effed up. Never trust any doll. Never tell anyone, or they're going to put you away. Here, keep this knife. Sweet dreams. And walks out of the bedroom. I'm like, holy crap. And you left the doll tied up in the bedroom. Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah, we even get the reflection of her eyes in the knife.
Yes. There was a lot of scenes like that where people just said, if you thought about it, really, like the mayor too was like, oh, and think of what it did, not to say what it did to my political
career. Yeah. Well, she's in therapy. She's allowed to say it there.
Right.
So. Now it did have some references to other movies, of course. When they were on the phone, very much Halloween, going up to the bedroom. He even had, I guess the ghost thing, because when didn't we get the idea that he was dressed up as like just a sheet with eyes cut out? Isn't that what they were implying when he came?
He had a mask on. No, they're shooting through the mask guys. It was a point of view thing for Halloween.
It was like a little ghost thing that
but it was
side of the camera though.
Right. I was trying to figure out what he was, because obviously he didn't look like Chucky, because she would have remembered that.
No, he had the sheet over his head, right.
Okay, good. I thought you were saying.
I thought you were comparing it to Halloween, and in Halloween he had the mask on, and you're shooting through the eyes.
Oh no, yeah, no. I was comparing the
just
shot,
the point of view.
But in Halloween, he did wear, later on in the Halloween movie, he did wear the sheet over his head.
He does.
All right, so it's 2 for 1. 2 for 1, sir.
It'd be interesting if they do a third season, if that'll be called like Season of the Witch.
No, I hope so. That'd be awesome. Did you recognize any other lines or scenes that were from other movies?
Well, I mean, we definitely get a lot of. I was wondering, how are they getting away with all these Batman references?
I know there's a lot of Batman references.
Because I was like, wait a minute, is WB affiliated with this?
Well, Doc, did you think of
because it's NBC Universal.
Did you think of the Batman movie when they showed up with a bomb?
I
was thinking the 60s Batman movie as well. I was thinking.
Oh my God. No, I wasn't thinking that. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's talk about the beginning with the truck, because the shot of all the Chuckies on the top of the truck coming at them like this was amazeballs, and the whole the whole thing with the trio of Chuckies and the one was bald was hilarious.
It almost felt like they're almost like the Three Stooges with the one bald one.
Right, when he popped out behind him and he goes,
well, I also loved
it was hilarious.
Hey,
So well done.
I didn't get a knife.
Well, I did like it. I did like it when they all started cutting through the boxes and stuff when they were about to. I mean, yeah, that whole sequence was really well done, and just how that played out from beginning to end. Even when he, what's his name, swerved and caused the girl to lose the gun, and then he shot the one tall in the head.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, yeah, but I mean, that whole sequence is really. I was really because I was trying to figure out, like, I'm sure they had to superimpose like different. They didn't have that many dolls at one time. They had to shoot at different things, but the way they incorporated it, they did a really great job with the special effects and making sure that it worked out well.
And then the middle section is basically reintroducing our trio of characters and getting them into a little bit of trouble, so they'll be sent off together into the third act. What did we think of reestablishing these characters and the I guess the new stepbrother that Jake has, and then what happens with him?
I liked how they got them all connected together, and then showed how they had. I didn't quite get. I assumed that Devin and Jake have been in contact. They just haven't gotten together, because they make it sound at the beginning like they're going to get together in 2 weeks or something, and or next weekend, and then it says it's been 6 months. When he's talking to him on the phone, and he's supposed to be on the bus. But Lexi has apparently been out of touch, and is also apparently self-medicating herself to counter any anxiety and panic attacks she's having over the, PTSD that she's having over the events of last season. Because she's smoking dope. She was getting a little bump. I don't know if they had coke or what they had there. And then she crushes up some clonazepam, which is an anti-epileptic and anti-panic attack drug. So anyway, but she don't want anybody to know it either. So I think that's a nice thing to meld in there. I think it's going to provide some fodder for future episodes.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to take that approach on kids, right? A lot of people are afraid to suggest that kids are dealing with that unless you're doing a Lifetime cry tearjerker story, right? I mean, to me, if they were taking that element very seriously with her,
right?
Well,
right.
Yeah, well, and I think that's the great thing about this show. It doesn't try to sugarcoat stuff. It doesn't steer away from things that might be uncomfortable. Because I mean, even I was like, wow, this is a little kid that's like almost like a druggie, at this point, and she's trying, and then so yeah, I mean, it's like, or even just like the death of certain characters. I think most shows would not do that, especially these days. So they don't shy away from it, and you still like, oh gosh, Well, yeah.
It did give me pause. I'm sorry. It did give me pause when I looked up and saw she was 15, and they were.
Well, when they're making out of the bed, yeah. Even I was, yeah.
Yeah, but it makes me feel a little better that her real mom plays her mom in the show, so she does have some.
Well, but but at the same time, it's like it does feel realistic, It's like I'll care, a lot of
15-year-olds have drug problems.
Yeah, absolutely. They have drug problems, and sometimes they, they make out with their boyfriends or So this happens in real life. So it's not like everybody's not virginal like they are in a lot of movies. So at least they don't. It's not like they're trying to be, sexy about it or anything or creepy about it. So it does feel very realistic in that respect, and so I kind of admire that that realism with that, you know, where they
Mhm.
that these feel like real kids, and the situations are, even though all these supernatural weird situations don't normally happen in real life.
Right. Oh, it's an interesting balance against, you know, the extreme supernatural Chucky things, right?
Yeah.
You know, you get these kids. Of course, you were alluding to the Joker bomb and a certain character that may be obliterated by said bomb. Now, the Robin character, let's just call him the Robin character for the sake of the discussion. What did you think of him, and did that play like did it play correctly for you that he would grab that bomb and then dart off into the kitchen?
Well, the thing is, the kid thought they were playing.
Yeah.
You know, kids don't have young kids don't have that kind of idea what's real and what's not. I mean, the whole time they're playing together. They're playing Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
So they probably didn't think it was a real bomb. It thought it was, and it was made to look like it was something somebody just threw together. You know,
Looked like a coffee pot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's sort of like he might have been. He probably was watching the 1960s Batman and saw Batman running with it, and he probably was going to get rid of it or something. You know? So yeah, I could see them doing that because kids, you know, which makes it a scary situation because they don't know the danger of that kind of stuff. That's why you have parents around to make sure you don't touch, you know, what's got tetanus waiting for you, you know. And so yeah, I could see that. I kind of figured that situation was going to go that way because, you know, because even his like foster brother was still trying to like, hey, you know. So yeah, and I kind of knew like, oh, this, and I think that's also going to play into the rest of the season, to where he's not going to trust wanting to be close to people, because when he's close to people, they die.
Well, and I think that Chucky, you know, he set this whole thing up. We don't see these scenes prior to that, but when he shows up at the door and Carolyn enters the door, he says something to her, and then she responds, and he's like, you know, that's not the right thing, or you're not playing it right, or something. I can't remember what it was. So like Chucky had prepared him for this quote unquote game they were playing, or Batman and Robin, or whatever it was they were playing. And that Caroline was a part of that. So yeah, I totally bought the kid was going to do that.
Well, and you know, like, you know, when kids are growing up, they have invisible friends and stuff, and they talk to. And so here you actually have a doll that talks to you. So you think this is your invisible friend or whatever. So I could see him doing that, even though it ended up biting him in the butt, you know, and making it for a very not so happy time for the rest of the kids. Although I was kind of wondering, like, I think my logic thing was, it's like, why couldn't they just lied and said, hey, somebody came in the house and did, like, what did they tell them? That they were just playing? They made a bomb or something? I mean,
well, they couldn't tell him it was a.
They couldn't tell him it was a doll. But you think that they would have a little, you know, at least get some kind of story straight on what happened, because it sounded like they were. Told them they were just playing with it or something.
Well, and in this show, I got nothing against. I wish Crystal was on. I have nothing against people with red hair, but in this show, everyone with red hair is suspect. I think.
Yes.
DA was a ginger, so
that
wanted to send them off to the school. I'm like going, uh-oh.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. And the psychiatrist sends him to a familiar place instead of going to juvie for psychiatric care. But they're not going to, you know, it's a little bit different.
Catholic School of the Incarnate Lord.
There you go.
There's nothing evil about that.
Nothing at all.
Doesn't sound evil at all.
Nothing at all. And then we also find out that it's the previous orphanage that Charles Ray grew up in, right? So
Yep.
So that's a quinky dink, but one that's fun. And then we're introduced to the nun, who I totally didn't recognize. Now, for those that don't know, we did a Hannibal podcast for the last 2 seasons, right? And Christopher, you were part of that. And one of our favorite characters ends up being in this show. You want to tell us who that was?
It's the actress who played Freddie Lowndes in Hannibal. So, and that because I was like, I know this woman from somewhere, and I can't put two and two together. But we're so used to having that red curly hair.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, this makes me really good. And she looks like a young Barbara Crampton there.
Yeah.
But
Laura Jean Chora-Teki.
Yeah. So it's
Dorosecki,
great to sort of see her, as somebody that I think she did a great job in Hannibal. So I'm kind of excited to see what she does in this series.
Yeah, and I was like, I watched it twice, and both times I was like, who is that? And I kept looking through the credits, and I didn't recognize any of the names. And it wasn't until we were preparing for the.
And we'll have a specific actor from the first incident who's going to return as a different character.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. We'll talk about that probably next week, right?
Yeah, we look forward to seeing that.
All right. Well,
they've also set up a thing that one of Lexi's, like a bully from Lexi's past, is at this school as well.
That was the one clumsy.
That was sent there by her mother. So
yeah, that was a little clumsy. I mean, it's so small it doesn't matter. But I was like, that was shoehorned. I was like,
I'm sure we'll get a flashback.
By the way, do you remember
what he did to her?
Yeah, on the I think the only thing, my only critique is that bus scene was, you could tell it was bad green screen.
Which is fine. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's give our score 1 to 5 and our favorite scene. Christopher G. Mohr, sir, you are up first.
Yeah, I think it's a good start to the season. It's definitely a beginning type thing, so they can get them to this one situation. So, but still, it's still entertaining, and it still doesn't pull any punches. Nobody's safe except for possibly the three main characters, but you never know. But yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes from here. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I mean, I think it's still got some legs, or it's still got some ways to go. We'll see where it goes, and maybe I'll get a higher score for some of the other episodes. But yeah, it's got some great moments. I'll say my favorite scene. It's more of a shot. I just like the overhead shot when that bomb goes off and you see Chucky's face
in the green cloud. Yes.
I just thought visually it felt like a Joker. It felt like a Batman type thing. But it just fits the humor of Chucky and that evil character, to where even his explosions have him laughing maniacally. So I don't know. I just like there's so many great shots in this, even in this first episode, that I just like the visuals of that.
Yeah, there really are. Jeff, your score 1 to 5, your favorite scene?
I'm going to say 4 as well, because I think it's yet to be seen. I want to see where this takes us, and it may earn more points. I'm very curious. I'm very suspicious of the therapist. That
I am too.
So the whole doll thing was just a little bit too coincidental. But anyway, favorite scene. You know what? I'm going to take. I don't know why, but I love that little kid and his holy Batman things, and I'll just take. I think it was the first time we get it. He's Jake's foster little brother, and he calls Jake Batman, and he's Robin. And they have this scene where when he's saying goodbye to Devin, then they both kind of go, oh no, well, we can't show any affection because it'll freak people out. And Jake goes and gets a car, drives away. And then Devin comes out in the middle of the street, screams his name, and Devin shouts, stop the car, and gets out and runs back, and they clinch and kiss. And it was like, I mean, it's nothing new in terms of male-female romantic scenes. But for the teenage boys, I thought it was pretty cool. And then the little kid turns around and looks and goes, holy secret identity.
that was good word. Yeah. I'll second that. I thought they handled the relationship between Devin and Jake really well. It's not looked down on. It's played, realistically and authentically. And there's chemistry between them as well. So
it feels very like John Hughes, but John Hughes we've never seen before,
Right. So me, I'm going to give it a 4 as well. We'll just all give it 4s. I do think it has room to grow, Christopher. I want to give it more because I just enjoyed. There was so much to enjoy, you know, from the knife going into the Chucky head that was carved into the pumpkin. You know, there's just all these little shots that are really wonderful. But it is set up. It's all set up for the rest of the season, so there's that. So I missed a few characters that I want to see. I'm sure will make themselves known.
There's one in particular I want to see come back. That
yes,
and I won't see her.
Yeah, and I suspect a certain someone that says they're both dead. I have a feeling they're not, but okay, good. I have a feeling they're not. I have a feeling they'll come back. It remains to be seen, right? My favorite scene, there's a whole bunch. Anytime Chucky's on the screen, they realize this character so well a number of different times. I could choose, but it's the non-Chucky that I'm going to choose. That shows up at the door on Halloween night, and man, the way she scared him with the boom when he's giving the candy and everything is just like, "Where's your parents?" "My parents are dead." And this kid is spooky as hell.
"Where's your parents and your friends?" "They're dead."
And it was just,
it
was just so funny. Of course, she looks like Chucky, but not like Chucky, but has Jeff the red hair, so.
More clown, weird.
Yeah,
clown.
yeah. She goes. That's what she goes. People are afraid of clowns because childhood trauma. It's like I'm not
right on the
nose. All right. Well, there you go. That's our review of Chucky season 2, episode 1. If things go right, we'll be covering the entire season. If we can chisel it into our schedule, that's the hardest part, honestly. So. And there's so much content out this October. You know, you gotta really gotta pick and choose. Some of the stuff in October is going to be covered in November. There is no way around it. We'll see. But Christopher, Jeff, thank you for joining me. A lot of fun.
Yeah. And never forget, dolls are effed up. Never trust the doll.
Never trust them. Don't trust them. They're effed up, man.
Not even Wedding Bell.
Yes.
You said the F word. Yes, say it with me. I like that.
Holy profanity. I think you should.
All right, let's say good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Gruesome Magazine.